The way I've transitioned looking at Texas and Oklahoma football performance in recent years and where they stand right now, obviously Texas is a little bit more unpredictable with the new head coach. Tried to move that into an SEC model to see, where they would stand. To me, let's look at Texas. They basically since Mac Brown stepped off the field have been like a 7-5 program.
They average 7
their winning percentage and just size that down to one season. They're 7-5. And so they're going 5-4, max 6-3 in the Big 12. Well, they got a couple gimmies, and then they got basically no one that they can't beat. They've even taken Oklahoma to a one-score game every year for almost a decade. And then suddenly they've got a bunch of teams that they've got like a 70-30 advantage on, a lot of TCUs and Oklahoma States out there.
And they can't beat them regularly.
You transition that into the SEC, and sure, SEC fans, I'm sure you've heard these comments. They'll hit me with, well, Oklahoma and Texas are going to have to play. Well, they're not going to have to play all those teams every year.
No, but they're going to play.
They're going to play 2/3 to 3/4
because of TV. Because of TV, they're going to play Alabama, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma at a minimum every single year. At a minimum. They will play those three teams every single year at a minimum.
So to my point, if Sark's not the man, if he's not better than Tom Herman and Charlie Strong, a lot better, then man, they're in for.
I don't get this Sark thing. I wasn't impressed at USC.
I wasn't either.
I wasn't impressed at Washington. He was okay there. I don't know what the upgrade is over Tom
Herman.
Tom Herman, thank you. I mean, they were a top 25 team last year. Okay, they finished 7-3 and in the top 25. Wasn't like they were terrible.
They took Oklahoma to overtime. They lost to Iowa State on a last-second field goal. They were that close.
Yeah. I get. Listen, I'm not a guy that thinks as a program you cannot aim higher. I really resent it when people say, "Well, that's the best you can do." Screw you, dude. Up yours. All right, that's beyond patronizing. Particularly if your name is Texas. Like, I don't blame Texas for wanting to do better than Tom Herman at all. I don't understand why you think Steve Sarkisian is. That's what I don't get. Like, I was totally down with openly courting Urban Meyer right out in the open in Tom Herman's face. That makes perfect sense, man. I mean, I totally get why when Kate Upton is single, you're going to make sure you're going to make her say no. I totally understand that. All right. I just don't understand why you think Steve Sarkisian is Kate Upton, because he's not. I don't get that at all.
Our guy, Falconer X, thank you so much for the Super Chat contribution. Appreciate that. He's always supporting us here. Steve Days will spit the truth in your face. You may not like it, but that's a you problem.
Nice. Very nice.
Good stuff, Falconer X. Appreciate that so much. The Oklahoma Dream season would be not only to win a national championship, but beat an SEC team or two on the way to doing it. On the flip side, of course, the SEC homers are basically saying, you can't play in our conference. You're going to be 8-4 in our conference. So it's going to be fascinating to see if Oklahoma's actually upgraded to the point where they can play defense, not against TCU and Oklahoma State. Yes, they've upgraded the defense under Alex Grinch to not be horrible, but can they play? We're not expecting them to shut down a Joe Burrow
here's the bottom line of this
offense, but hold them
in this arrangement, Oklahoma, Texas, and Texas A&M are not all going to be really good at the same time. They just can't be, because all three of them are going to make the exact same recruiting pitch to the same region of recruits. So it's math, man. In real life, I'm not a Keynesian when it comes to my economics. In football recruiting, I'm as zero-sum game as you can get, because you're talking about a scarce resource. There's only so many players. Oklahoma, Texas, and Texas A&M need to dominate the exact same region of the country with the exact same pitch. And I don't think all three can be successful at the level that they anticipate and want to be simultaneously. One of them will take a step back, I believe.